So, yes, welcome to episode 3 of the Digital Terror podcast. I am CJ, and we've got a lovely guest of the Diet Elf here with us today to talk about design, essentially. Now, we're going to be touching on a couple of subjects what we were discussing last week when we were talking about marketing and how building a brand. And I really want to speak to a designer about this because I'm not a designer really, and Earth Mode wasn't really designed. He's more into marketing and things like that. So I think it'd be beneficial to actually have an expert essentially on who does work on design. I'm kind of putting you on the spot, yes, and you're a full-on expert here on design. But I know that she'll have some insight regarding about how important it could be for building your own brands essentially. And there is a couple of right ways of doing it, and certainly quite a lot of wrong ways of doing your own designs. So, but yeah, I'll introduce you to Diet Elf. I know quite a lot of you will already know who she is.
Whoa.
She's an awesome Twitch content creator, and she loves playing RPG games. Dark Souls, I think you're currently doing, which I
Mhm.
suck at that, and you do your
Oh, I'm
Fallout series and stuff. So, but it's great. So yeah, this is Diet Elf. Hello, hello, hello.
hi. Hello, everybody. Um, and honestly, I'm pretty excited to be here. Um, but yeah, no, you mentioned design. Um, honestly, I want to know if you have any specific things that you would want me to address first before I get into, a tangent rant related to design.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I mean, how if you give it a scale or something like that, how important do you think it is to make your own design or get someone to help you? The main thing is to have your own image or something like that, and how important do you think that is, especially when you're trying to grow your own community and be identified uniquely? Uh, how one like scale to 1 to 10, how important do you think it is to have a good design, essentially?
Honestly, I would rank it at a 7 or 8
Hmm.
personally. I think it's very important to have something because the visual aspect is part of streaming in particular, and you want to stand out from every other average Joe who's just going to use a stock image or what have you. So you really want to make something that will really kind of tell your viewer, especially the people who just kind of pop in and end up like, oh hey, I found this channel, they're playing a game I like. You kind of want to tell them, hey, what kind of channel is this? Like,
Yeah.
so design is very important in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly tell if they do like esports and like say that they do football or whatever, you see it'll be lots of greens and whites or stuff like that, and that's how you can identify what type of channel this is that you're essentially watching. This is going to be like a sports streamer or content creator, what you're watching, or you can get someone who has some really unique type designs or something like that, who which shows that they a very creative type person as well or something. And
Mhm, mhm.
I think that's really good. I did try to do design myself many years ago, like when I was a student. Um, I did like digital design and things like that, but I mostly went down the audio scenario. I think you can probably tell with this like rack here, my mix
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
I went down the audio sound design, if that makes any sense, rather than the actual digital design, because I realized I was terrible at it. I can't really draw, and I know that a lot of people you don't necessarily need to draw something like that, but I think I've seen I work with designers in my job, and the stuff what they just think of is just amazing. I mean, you really need to have that like a creative personality to do it, and I just think I'm incapable of that. I mean, I think I can. I'm not saying I'm not creative or something like, but I say my field is in audio or something like
Yeah,
that. I
yeah,
like
yeah.
making music and
Knowing
stuff like that. So, oops.
honestly, when it comes to design, knowing your strengths and weaknesses is a big um it's a big benefit. Like honestly, for example, in the case of my own channel, when I first started, I was like, oh hey look, I have slots for example for emotes or what have you. And I designed them just kind of on the fly. And
Hmm.
now that I've had more experience, like I'm going to redesign them to make them more solid, make them more feasible, like just in general, you want things to be cohesive and not really random. But
Yep.
yeah.
I think when you see the limitations of my design or something, like for my emotes, what I've got, I didn't get anyone to make any. I was like, you know, I'll try it myself. It's like, can't be that hard. They're just little things. You know what I mean? I'll try and make one. So I essentially just cropped my face, made my face one. I made one that says copy, and I got one that just says like the king. I was like, there you go, done, done, and I
That's
forgot
perfect.
it.
That's perfect. You know.
I was like, it's perfect. I'll leave it like that. But obviously, I do want to try and get better at myself or something, and cause like I like watching people who do paint and things like that, or do like a what do you call it? It's like a time lapse video of someone drawing and things like that. I find that
Oh
very.
yeah, those are really cool.
Oh yeah, I love watching those types of things. Like just seeing something getting created, essentially. So, but I know, because a lot of people recommend me, recommended you to be on here because I heard that obviously you do design quite a lot of people's emotes and things like that as well. And I just wanted to like, where did that start from you? From like designer, like even from emotes, or have you always been a designer? Like in the past, is that your passion or something? Or
you can't really see it from here, but before streaming, I did art freelance. Unfortunately, because I did it as work, I started to lose enjoyment in it in general. So I took a break from it. But I've been doing art since I was like, you know, like a wee toddler, basically. And the design aspect, honestly, I'm pretty much entirely self-taught. There's a lot of good tutorials, and I have a lot of artist friends. The big thing you want to do learning any design is you want critique. And you be prepared to take critique. Like
oh yeah,
yeah. So it's like, oh hey, like I don't if somebody is offering and I mean, unsolicited obviously is kind of rude, but like if you truly want to get better at design, or like for example audio, even you want somebody to listen to it or look at it and say, hey, what's your impression, and is this giving off the feeling that I want it to give off? Is there is it capturing what I need it to capture? And in the sense of Twitch design, especially for channel design, I definitely actually have a little ways to go currently, because I need to update a lot of things for my stream. I want to make a new border. I want to make a bunch of other things, and I want to incorporate the DTR logo into my stuff now too.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to fail a couple times, you know?
I 100% agree. And like I think being I'm quite critical of my own work, and like obviously I think I can't be any more harsher on myself than what anybody else can say. Someone could say, "Oh, that sounds crap" or something. It's just, well, trust me, man. You don't want to hear what I think of what is. But it's also good because if you don't hear that type of feedback from anybody, and you just think it's good or something like that, but people are just giving you false positives, and you just, and if you keep going that, it's going to be like think it's like a parent who wraps their child in bubble wrap for the rest of their life, okay? And they're going to be like thinking, oh, this is great. My mum says my works of this little house, what I made, is fantastic, fantastic. I mean, and then eventually you'd be like, okay, well, I want to be a designer, but you're not any good because you think like you've reached this level now and you don't need to work on it. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, that's never going to happen. You have to keep going and going and going.
That is very important in art, yeah. Don't stagnate.
No, absolutely. I mean, so like with these types of creativities, either it's audio, sound, painting, could be building some things. No one can be like, I've done it. I've reached the pinnacle of what I can do. There's always time for growth or something like that. So that's why I love these types of arts anyway, because there is no limit to it essentially.
Right.
So so you say about you being mostly self-taught, like from design, and like you did like artwork or something. What type of artwork do you like doing? Is it painting yourself, or is it more digital type of art?
I like digital and painting, and I don't know if I have anything directly. Actually, So just as an artist, I carry supplies with me at all point, like at any given time, no matter where I go. So my bag is quite big, but like I always have a sketchbook of some kind. I always have supplies of some kind. And actually, I can give a couple of pieces of advice when it comes to product design because I did anime conventions and posters and like product for a very long time and stickers, stuff like that.
That's very cool. Yeah.
But like, you know, I don't know if I like in here enough to show, but yeah.
Oh wow. That's very cool.
You know, and like I mostly started and I still want to do comics. Like there's a lot of ideas in my head, but I had to get Twitch was something I initially started to get away from the like self-stifling I had done because I had gotten far too critical of my own work. And I had put myself I had set myself to such a high standard that I basically froze. And I think that can happen in any form of art, including Twitch. Like, oh, I expect to be this way or that way. Like, try to go easy on yourself starting out, you know? Like, take a break, take a step back. For example, I like when I play Dark Souls, like this is like from the gamer perspective, but like when I was playing Dark Souls, I found somewhere in the middle, I'm like, okay, I can't play anymore. I'm getting too angry. People aren't going to enjoy watching this if I'm also not having fun. So then you switch. So just like with art, design, Twitch, what have you, like take a step back, take a break from what you're working on, and then come back to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I actually where's my book gone? We've got a couple more questions or something.
There's a question here in the chat too.
Oh, Craig.
Yes, wanted to ask the Diet Elf if it helps to have a theme or central image. Yes, it does. 100%. Less mishmash, the better. Visually, when it comes to the human eye, you're immediately drawn to something that will unify your theme. And you should always remember that the most successful images of any kind are divided into thirds. So, like, you know, here's my camera, right? You want your most important to be in the center, and then you want things that will draw the eye into the center or into what you want to focus on, you know, after this, basically. So, having something to unify that is really good.
When I was trying to do like a design or something for my logo and things, the thing what I had to choose first for me personally was color. What color I'm going to be using before I went straight to a logo or something like that. And I spoke. I've got a few friends who are designers or something like that, and I work with, like I said, I work with some designers, and they gave me like, you know, you get like a color chart or something like that, and it says each color essentially can represent a feeling or something like that. So what you mean? Well, how we read this? Obviously, like you got your basic ones like red, and red means like, you know, danger, action, or something like that. And I was like, right, okay, and all your blues, greens, yellows, or something like that. It says, oh, right, have a look at purple. I can't remember what purple was. I think it's something like, you know, if I'm quote me wrong or something, I think it's something to do about information or something like that. I believe for purple, I think it is. I could be wrong. So I was like, well, purple is one of my favorite colors anyway, so that's where I started from. And then I went to like starting to do logos myself, and I was like, well, I want to try and make it as basic as possible. And that's why I just did it with like a CJ, essentially, just mash them together and add some colors to it or something. But when I see like, you know, you can get like some really like complicated designs or something like that, which look great. I'm like, things like that I just can't comprehend. I can't try and create that myself. It's like I think it's very difficult for me. I think so. I was wondering like, where do you get your inspiration? Do you like just come up with it, or do you do like research about okay, right, they give me some examples of what they want. I'll try and like mimic that slightly, or do you have like a book where you just like doodle like, I don't know, a plethora of different types of things? So like, okay, this person wants to have something like this. I might have something in my book.
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then you can show them that, and then from there, that's like a stepping stone, and you could just like go from that. Is that how you like keep all your like designs in a sketchbook or something like that? I mean, it's
I do a little bit of all three, honestly.
oh wow, yeah.
Sometimes I will get an idea, come up with it on the fly, and then I'll sketch it out and be like, all right, this is the base of what I want, but I'll have to rework it later. It always helps to have references. 100%, it helps to have references. Don't ever let somebody tell you that references mean you're cheating, because you're not. Like, those are always good for you. And having a good basis for what I want, like, even just sometimes you want to write out like a little sentence or like descriptor of what you're thinking of before you even start. So like, this is what I want to evoke, this is the color scheme, this is this, and you write out kind of like what you're thinking. And you want more than one draft of anything you do. So like, that's the way I usually come up with it, is I will sketch it out or get an idea from somebody or what have you, but then it goes through 2 or 3 drafts before I like it enough to go, okay, this is final.
Cool. But, I mean, do you find has there ever been any work that that you're not too familiar with, like that ask for design but you haven't really done, like it's not really in your area but you're still trying to do it yourself, or would you just say
I really would love to learn like little miniature animations or like pixel animations. Pixel art is really cool. I have no experience in it, but it'd be fun to do. And I'm doing a lot of research.
Yeah, I actually I did a course or something when I was at work a couple of years ago, and I was wanting to learn. I was wanting to brush my skills up on C#. So I did a course on lynda.com, and it was to make it's a 2D game. It was all pixel art. And it was all made in C# or something, but I had to make my own pixels, and I find that quite interesting. You have to make I believe it's a sprite image what you have to create. So you make about like a half a dozen, depends how many actions I saw it, and then put that together or something. So thankfully, it was just like a wee space dude or something like that. So you just had like legs with it was like white with like black boots and a helmet and stuff like that. So I found that. I mean, I'd never done anything like that before, but thankfully the tutorial was quite good. So it was taking me step by step or something to make sure it looked
that always
okay.
Helps.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's quite a lot of stuff on Lynda what I've learnt, and maybe not too much in design, but more like game design. That makes any sense. So creating that. So. But,
it really kind of highlights how much work goes into a lot of
things. My god, yes. When I had to, like, you had to learn, like, gravity physics and game physics and things like that, and how object collisions and things like that. So I had to learn all that, but it was so great because at the end of this tutorial, I took that and I created my own version of it essentially, and I named it after the company what I work in. And essentially, and it became like you remember Flappy Bird essentially? It was something like that, except you're in an office, okay, and what happens is you have to jump over like desks, PC, like a water cooler or a plant or something like, or digestive biscuits. So you just have to jump over.
Platformer.
Yeah, and all you have to do is just hit space to jump, and there's like and at the end you'll be a scoreboard saying how far you jumped. I sent that to the office, right? To everyone got it. I got in so much trouble because everybody was just sitting like this, hitting the space bar, playing this stupid game. And everybody's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, CJ sent us this game," and like, yeah.
And now I can't stop.
I know, it was like one of those stupid, like really addictive games. So
sometimes it's the simple things. Speaking of, let's see, Omni Craig. Yep, you have a logo and you tweak it all the time. Is there ever a good time for a complete rebrand? It's personal preference. I would say it's personal preference. If you feel like it's time, then, take a deep breath and try it out. Just don't do it too often. You do it too much, you're going to rattle people and it's going to throw them off.
Yeah. Yep.
As long as you're not changing every 2 weeks, like.
Yeah, man, you be spending most of your time just designing then constantly, aren't you? So
yeah.
And because like you might get into that feel like there's loop essentially that you're never going to be happy or satisfied with what you've got if you're going to be changing that often. I think so. Yeah, I mean, like for me,
know when to step back.
I know. I think like I said, like I did my design about I don't know about 4 weeks ago, so like a few weeks after I started doing Twitch, and I think it's okay, but I might just get rid of it. I don't know. I mean, like, but I'm going to keep it for a good few months before I go back at it again. So
yeah, I really ended up liking my little logo creature, and I still need to finish up a whole bunch of stuff. But since I do all of my own art, all of my own editing of it, and I have a family, trying to balance everything has been pretty hard, to be quite honest.
100%. Yep.
But like for example, I know I'm a variety streamer, but the game that I love is Dragon Age, so I kind of based my entire branding slightly around that. So like, my offline screen is a little Nug, and like my Be Right Back and a couple of other things. It's like, all right, here's this unifying image. Now I want to expand that theme, whether it's using the same color scheme or the same little mascot or what have you. Like, you always want something to unify everything.
Yeah. I know. That's why I say, like, I don't know if I'm happy with my logo because, as you know, I do Dungeons and Dragons, but then I'm also playing like modern FPS games and things like that. And so I can't really. Wait, do I commit for this like once a week stream, which I do, which I love because I like that type of role playing games, playing D&D with my friends, or shall I just say, right, that's just a Tuesday thing, and we'll focus on like video games itself, what I like. So.
I do wonder if you couldn't have two different layouts. So your gaming layout could be one way, and then your D&D one can be another, and then you can have it like this something gamer, this like CJ Gaming D&D, or what have you, basically, or Snowy D&D. Like, have your gaming logo in the corner, but like have this theme be D&D. Like, there's nothing wrong with having multiple interconnected designs or cameras for your streams. I think honestly, I find it to be very, very cool. One of the I'm thinking in terms of design, but one of the people that this is a friend. I don't know. They're not part of DTR though. It'd be nice if I could drag them into it. They hired out an artist to do their themes, and it's really unified. It looks very nice.
Yep.
So like, also don't be afraid to search outside of your immediate friend circle or what have you for artists for hire, and always pay your artists. Don't say you'll give them exposure.
Oh God, yeah.
It's a lot of work. It is very much. It's a lot of work.
Yep.
Reason you're trying to get somebody else to do it. So remember that, and you're taking their time away. Pay them for it. They spent a lot of time developing skills. So
I hear like these like online people you can essentially like rent out. I know it sounds wrong, but I'm talking about like the likes of Fiverr.com and things like that. You can look for a designer that way. I know there might be either forums or something like that where you can like rent a designer or something to help them do it yourself, or guide them or something. So
there are a lot of good places. Fiverr is quite good. There's a lot of places where you can like find an artist. Twitter is actually a really good place for artists if you need to find somebody. Yeah, Twitter is great. There are a lot. I like 90% of the people I follow are fellow artists and what have you that I've met during conventions and other stuff, because like I said, I did anime conventions for I don't know 6 or 7 years, something like that.
Wow, that'd be cool. You still do things like that? I mean, obviously not now during like lockdown and things like that. So
more casually now. I still have like my button makers, like for pins.
Button makers?
My pin makers.
Have you got one of those? I was wanting to buy one.
I've got two of them.
I was wanting to get a couple. I was wanting to get one for like band merch, because I play music in bands and stuff. So I always wanted to give myself like a button pressure.
Actually, hold on. Let me grab one.
Yeah, aren't those like really expensive?
All right. If you can, like, if you're looking for merch stuff,
Uh-huh.
get one of these.
Look at the
Don't
size.
use a don't use a hand one. You
Okay.
will destroy yourself. These last for thousands and thousands of buttons.
Wow.
So
And
yeah.
I take it that one it comes with different sizes, obviously, so you can make like the big ones to like the tiny buttons or something. Yeah, I want to do that.
It's per machine, so like you need an entirely new machine for size, unfortunately. But
Wow, right. It doesn't come with different dies or something like that where you can change the size of the buttons.
mm-mm.
No, right, okay. Aren't those expensive? Because I had a look online and some of them could
Yeah,
be
that was four
quite
hundred
pricey.
dollars. The other one was, yeah. But I
Wow.
made my money back in my very first convention that I had it. I made my money back
Yeah,
like right away. Yeah.
that'll be good. Yeah, I think maybe it might be something to invest or something. I'd like to have something like that. My friend actually, she purchased one of those new t-shirt press or something like that. So like she was gonna design like baby clothes. So
Oh,
like
that's cute.
so she wanted to get like a wee press or
Oh,
something like that. And very
Mick's got a
nice.
question too. For images like sub emotes, is there a preferred file type or format? Um, good question. I mean, for Twitch asks for very specific formats, but usually you don't want JPEGs.
No,
For the record,
PN
no
I use
JPEGs.
PNGs all the way.
PNGs, you want PNGs because those are the better. Like the
Yep,
compression is better and they don't get all fuzzy and gross.
yep.
Um,
One thing I did realize is the quality of it as well. For instance, if you're using Photoshop and you are creating your badges, I found out sometimes my badges were files were too large because like there's a certain maximum, and I was like, why are my files being too large or something?
you got to compress it with a slightly yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, I'm gonna have to try and compress it or something a little bit more.
Vectors. Oh, vector. So vector art is something I'm still learning. Vectors are great. Vector art is amazing, especially for any type of icon or image.
Mhm.
That is something I still need to look into. Like right now, I just use what have I been using? I've been using Photoshop, and I've been using um,
Illustrator.
Procreate. No, Procreate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, 100% vectors. If you can get vector art, like that stuff is the best for icons and like any other kind of emote type image.
Mhm. Mhm. All right. So, obviously, I heard you've done a few people emotes because we're currently talking about emotes just now. Are you still doing that for people, or is that like people contact you, or are you just doing it like now and then? Because I know that obviously you do have a life and you got
Oh
other
yeah, yeah.
things where you
I
can
mean,
work on or something. So
I'd be okay doing more emotes for people. I don't mind.
yeah,
Currently, because it's kind of the way I relax now. It's like, oh hey, can I come up with a good thing?
I would love to be able to. There you go, McMogs. I know that you designed a couple of his actually. I've got some of yours. Do I have any?
I still need. I had a couple of ideas for a couple more of Mix that I hadn't gotten around to doing yet, but
I know. I need to try and once I get to that stage where I can unlock more or something, I want to try and focus on a couple of the D&D aspect of ones. Hopefully, I can use in the future. Yeah, I love that one. Yeah,
that's my favorite of the ones I've made.
that
I
is
need to
really
redo a
cool.
bunch of them. Um,
Yeah, I
but
really
gosh,
like that.
in I think one of the things you do also want to this is me thinking back to like specifically Twitch channel design. You don't want your stuff to be too cluttered. Um, so just because something looks cool doesn't mean it has to be added. Like less is more. Less is more when it comes to like
Yeah. Sometimes you can get. I don't think it's particularly for more like not gamer content creators or gamer streams. Like if it's more like just chatting or something streams, what I've seen, they have like at least 6 boxes or something like that on the stream page. Essentially, it'd be like a chat box, donation box. There'd be a
yeah,
camera
yeah.
there. Some of them even have a pet camera in the top right corner where you can watch the guinea pig or something like that going around, and then you end up like there's about you're looking at 6 different boxes or something like that on a page.
Yeah.
There is some certain times where that can work essentially, but I know what you mean. Where if you do over cluster or something like that,
Yeah, it gets to be a little much, you know.
Yep.
Like I think even with art, with streaming, like you want everything to be as cohesive as possible because you want to stay consistent. When a viewer comes, they're coming for specific, like they're coming for your channel, right? Especially repeat viewers. So like you don't want to eye rape them when they open your channel. Yeah, with something that's going to be like, oh, there's like every clashing color under the sun, and it's like, and there's
Yep.
all these like everything's happening all at once, and I have a headache and I have to mute them and close the window, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I because like obviously I haven't been streaming for that long. I've only been doing it for like over 2 months now or something like that. I have
Right?
been at fault by like constantly changing my design. I think I'm getting there almost to what I like. With like finishing off my logo and the color schemes what I like to use, the certain fonts what I like to use as well, so I'm consistent using the same fonts and things like that throughout everything. The one thing I did struggle with is like I wanted to have like a really cool overlay essentially. So I think my first overlay, I don't use it anymore. It was a video file essentially with the cool like animations and things like that, and I had like scrolling text everywhere constantly, and
Yeah,
bars here, bars there.
that can get to be a lot.
I know. I mean, it's it was a bit of a learning curve, but I mean, I'm thankful that you can do these types of things because like years and years ago, like Twitch didn't have this capability or something like that. And you could just either have like really cool transitions to different cameras and things like that. You didn't have like a click of a button where you can add all these cool alerts or follower goals, subscriber goals, things, animations, or chat boxes inside it.
Right.
So it's good that you have these the capability of adding these things, but it's like proportion, and I think it's more quality than quantity essentially. So you need to be, like you said, more streamlined, so everyone can be right watching your content and they know exactly what they're viewing on, and they're not like, oh fuck man, it's like that scene from Back to the Future 2, you know what I mean? And he goes to see
Yeah.
John McFly and he's got all the TVs in front of him, and you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So yeah, I understand that. So
Yeah, it's like it's funny. Like you have to put a lot of work into your design, but your design has to highlight you as the focus because at the end of the day, you and your content is what makes your channel. So like
yeah.
you can have the nicest frame ever, but if your content isn't like
Yeah,
so
if it's
yeah.
bland. I like the. I mean, it's harsh, but sometimes sometimes it can be very bland or something. Especially when you're watching the game or something what you like as well. And you
Yeah.
watch a game that you like, and you're like, oh, I remember this bit. This bit's really exciting, and it's just like they look like that guy from like South Park or something, and they're just sitting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're like, we do.
We
This
are
is a great
talking
part.
design, Dretsum.
We are talking design. I know. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'll go for a wee rant and off topic every now and then or something. So
Oh no, I
yeah.
get that. Luckily I am more medicated, so I'm less crazy than I used to be.
That's good.
But yeah, I mean, like the things to keep in mind for your stuff, you want it to say something about what your channel is about, like your design. You want a unifying color of some kind. Like you can have other colors, but have one unifying color, and try to stick.
Use the color wheel, right? That's another thing my design
100%.
says.
Use the color wheel.
There's a color wheel, okay? If you don't know about this, essentially it works like you pick a color wherever you want, and the opposite color of that, right, will work perfect for it, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So use this color wheel. I found that out from like a friend or something. Says, yeah, go check it out, right? Look up color wheel. You could just see like an image or something like that from Google, wherever it is. So.
Let's see. There's a couple of really good websites for color scheme generators. Here, I'll post it in the chat. This one in particular is good. I don't know if you can do.
Yeah. What's the other one? I think is it. I think it's like a paint site. Like, you know, you pick in a color what you want, you put the hex color what you want, and then it'll give you 6 other colors which match that essentially. Does that make any sense?
But yes, the one that I put in is it will generate a palette of colors that will all look good together.
Perfect.
But what you like, you want your unifying theme. You want it to not be too cluttered, because that's really important. Like, if your stuff is really cluttered, like this is even from like me surfing people's channels or what have you. If there's not enough, it's boring, and if it's too cluttered, it's too much. So like that perfect balance. Who am I thinking? I'm thinking like mixed new layout is really good. With the ability to swap between the larger game camera and then the smaller cameras. And then there's the unifying color and theme, and it works really well. It's not too much, but it's also not nothing.
No.
Which can also get like, oh, yeah, because I feel like personally right now, I feel like my channel borders and what have you are a little dull. So I've been trying to rework that.
What did I do? So talk about. We talked a little bit about the emotes and the colors or something for design. Have you done? Or would you recommend working on more animation for designs as well, like cool transitions and things like that? I don't know if you've done any yourself.
Working on some, I haven't implemented them yet. I would say that they add a lot of. I will say, especially the non-overused, like, oh, look at how slick this is. Like, making your own is extremely charming. There's another streamer I'm thinking of. His name is Palette-Box, and you can tell he's done all of his own animating and stream transitions. And it isn't the best art, but it is extremely charming, and really, like, it's what made me follow and what have you. So I would definitely recommend it. Like, if you can do animation and scene transition stuff, work on it, because that's what I'm learning currently. Yeah. It's been fun. And if it's too much, hire out. There's plenty of artists out there who do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I did my first transition about 3 weeks ago or so, and it's working sort of okay. I think I might change it later in the future, but it is a good skill, I think, to learn or something for that, especially when you're doing Twitch or something. The one thing I did have to learn, I had to go back to coding again, because you had to create your own batch files, because what I didn't realize is that you need to make these alpha raw files essentially to work on either OBS or Streamlabs, whatever you're using. Because once you create this file, and it is alpha, because you obviously want to have that transparent background if you want. I mean, you can make a like a wee video clip, and then that way you don't need to put that as a transition. You just have that as an automated video when you switch scenes, essentially. So it just goes flash to it and flash again. But if you want to do this transparent thing, you're gonna have to make an alpha. What's it? Alpha? Is it MP4? I think it's MP4. Or was it AVI? I can't remember what it was. But it was a 3-second video, and it was, how big was it? It was 1.5 gigs, I believe.
Yeah, it's huge. It
was absolutely huge. I was like, yeah, I don't think that's going to run very well. So I tried it out, and I'm like, yeah, it just stutters. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, right. So I had a look, and there's a couple of good YouTube videos. I'll try and post them in the link.
YouTube is like your best friend when it comes to these things, honestly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I found out there's a batch file which you can create. So I created this batch file. So you can obviously make a really cool compressed alpha if you got After Effects, but I don't own After Effects anymore, so I'm unable to compress this file type.
Right.
And these ones online, or these stupid compressor software you can buy from the internet, are not. There's always a hitch to them. Essentially, like they ought to be like a certain file size or how many times you could do it. So what I
Right,
found
right, right.
out, there was this really cool batch file you can create in the command, and simply once you've created that your video file, your transition video, you just type in this batch, and then it'll compress it for you. And I did that, and now it's like 25 kilobytes
Yeah,
for
so much easier.
for like a 3-second video, and I was like, that is perfect. So now I've got that, and now I've got that batch file. I could then just go back to my video editing software, what I'm using, to create these different transitions. And then once I create that, I then just run the batch file, and it's small, and I could change it easily now, which is great. So I'll post a couple of links and the batch file, I think, on in the description if you're watching this on YouTube or
Yeah,
something. So you can watch it, and including the links to Coolers, the color wheel thing as well, so you guys can check that out as well. So I don't know if you can give someone tips, like for instance, okay, they want to learn it themselves and they don't necessarily want to ask people, or they'd be like, okay, I'm going to try and do this for myself. What would be your main, like, top tips to start off with? And do you necessarily have to own Photoshop or like some of these expensive softwares, or would you recommend maybe some free, or even MS Paint? I mean, some things you can create in MS Paint these days.
that's true. That's true.
Not the greatest, but there is some tools out
It's
there which
gotten
are
a lot
free.
more expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, so alternatives. I believe Paint Tool Sci is still fairly inexpensive. Let me check. Yes, Paint Tool Sci is still free and very good as far as having most of the capabilities of Photoshop, if that's what you're looking for. If you have any Apple products, Procreate is very good, and they're constantly updating it without charging extra fees. It's like $10, so it's
Right,
worth
that's not
it.
bad. Yeah.
And as far as tips are concerned, like other than programs, you can get pretty cheap drawing tablets, like digital drawing tablets on the internet. Like there's Bamboo, like Wacom's Bamboo tablet is quite good. There's a couple of off brands that are okay, but I've never used them, so I'm not sure I would necessarily recommend them because I've only ever used Wacom.
Right. Do you have one of these fancy tablets, by the way? I'm just curious. Do you have one of these like cool tablets where you just sit back and you could just draw or something like that?
Well, let's see. Hold on. I've got an Intuos. It's not the screened one, but yeah, I've got an Intuos that's about yay big.
That big? That's
yeah,
wow.
it's
Right, okay. That's huge.
It's pretty big. Yeah, I've got the drawing tablet pen and everything. But these days, I've mostly been working on an iPad that was gifted to me, using the Apple Pencil. Otherwise, most of the time, I hate Apple. To be fair, I'm not really an Apple person. But iPad and Apple Pencil and Procreate, I've been really good. So I can't entirely hate them anymore because that I did that entire body pillow on Procreate with. So, and I can just carry it and draw directly on the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot you can do with like Paint Tool Sci, even with just MS Paint.
Yeah, I mean,
AstroPad.
AstroPad.
Microsoft. Dratsum says, I have an iPad Pro, and if you're a Mac owner, you can use AstroPad, which turns it into a drawing tablet. Yep. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Microsoft tool, and Mick says that he used Microsoft tools. So there are very many. Like you don't have to draw everything yourself. There's a lot of software out there where you can just edit like text nicely and what have you. Make sure the make sure the text that you use is stuff that is either already on your computer or is free. Because a lot of custom fonts are actually, you have to license them to use them. So just remember that.
Oh yeah, yep. And you can find out the sites what I usually go for is like Dafont or something like that, because then you can actually see what type of licensing they are currently using. So if you got like a MIT license or something like that, it's usually copyright free, some of the stuff that you can use. So
there's a few, yeah.
Yeah, so bear in mind, especially when you get to a stage that you want to start designing your own brand as well, and actually sell that as merch or something like that.
You gotta be careful with that.
You'd be very, very careful, yeah, because like they can easily, to sue you essentially. So, and you don't want that to happen. So, yeah, be very, very careful of that. I mean, it's quite funny because obviously I'm in the music scene, and I see quite a lot of bands. In fact, you know what? I don't know who made it first, actually, right? It's a punk band who I know, and they've been going about for 40 years, okay?
Okay.
And the punk band's called, they are called Crime Desk. Now, their logo, okay, it's white, it just says Crime Desk, okay, and it's black background, it's a circle. Now, the outside is kind of like it's like a red dots or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
It looks exactly like Red Hot Chili Peppers logo.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Now, this band has been, like I said, Crime Desk, okay? They've been playing for 40 years. So I'm like, I wonder who made this logo first, essentially. I'm not saying about, I'm not saying the Chili's or something.
But it's one of those, like, yeah.
Yeah. But they obviously sell merch or something like that as well. I mean, like, they've been going out for such a long time. Thankfully, no one's came knocking on their door or something like that saying, that's a Chili Peppers logo. Would be like, we've been doing this since like the 60s or the 70s or something like that. You know what I mean? So, crazy.
Oh, the dawn of the punk scene. Yeah. All right.
Exactly. Right. But I think obviously when you do get to that point, when you are going to be doing your brand or something like that, like what we started talking about at the beginning about. You don't obviously want to keep changing your design, because once you've like made your brand and you're happy with it essentially, and you are selling that as merch, and then who knows, like 4 weeks later or something, you've changed it.
Yeah, so, you don't really. Well, that's one thing too. If you do change your brand, like if you overhaul, if you can, keep some aspect of your old design and import it into your new design.
Yeah.
Like, try and keep something somewhat consistent so that like you can see how your logo would evolve.
Yeah,
also don't just take images off of Google. I will slap you.
Yeah, don't take any images off Google. I mean, like, what would you steal? I mean, there are some free ones. You can get like free ones where you can build up on top of. That make any sense?
Yeah, there's a few, but like, don't just take them off of Google. I know a lot of my friends got art thefted, so.
Oh wow! Careful. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, like I say, I'm not a designer, so I don't publish art or anything like that. I certainly don't try and steal anybody else's. Because I like to just make it myself. If I make it myself and it sucks, and the only person I've got to blame is me, essentially. So I'm like, okay. That's fine.
There's still a lot of charm in seeing people do their own stuff, though. Honestly.
Oh yeah. But I can imagine like there'll be a lot of designers who'd be like, check out this. What's that? Is that supposed to be a CJ? It looks like a fucking U, but there's no U in CJ, and it's a horrible. You know what I mean? What is that? Like, listen, right? I like it. Okay, it kind of looks like remember Snake on the old mobile games.
Yeah.
Right, so that's like representing a game, and Snowy. See, CJ Snowy.
It's perfect. There you go. Completely intentional.
It is. I'm just looking at it right now, and I'm like, what does it look like? Yeah, it does look. It looks like Snake. Right.
It looks like a CJ to me. Like, I thought that was a really good logo change for you. It still has your basic color scheme. It still has a lot of like what I recognize, but it looks much more professional. And that's what I mean kind of about the streamlining. You can see, I think I don't remember if I don't know if you have any art like pictures of your old logo up anywhere.
No. But
I
what I
remember
did.
it looking more cluttered somehow.
Oh yeah. I think it was. There was much more clud. The way I got that was I made like a like it was just literally just a CJ part what I made, and
Mhm.
I didn't have any. There wasn't any other colors except just the dark purple for the font. I didn't have any emboss or anything like that. And what I did, I posted it on my. I've got a Facebook page where mostly my friends and a couple of followers of my either Twitter, not Twitter, Twitch or my YouTube on that. And I posted that, and like I know there's some designers is like, can you give me some like tips or something like that?
Right.
And sent me some tips, and I then visited and I changed some of it. And then I sent another picture, just right, okay, that's good. You got anything else I can add? And you're like, yeah, try unified. So like, you see, like the Y and S, they are perpendicular. Like, is that the right word? They go directly with the C and the end of the J. That makes any sense? So it's like if you run like a ruler where the end of the J is and where the Y is, it's a perfect line going like this. That makes any sense?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh right, okay, I'll do that or something, and it was quite fun actually. It was just showing like these different types of illustrations of what I've made of my own logo, and talking to designers, and they were like giving me some really good information of what I can change and things, and that's what it came out looking like. So maybe that's why it kind of, and thank you for saying that, it looks semi-professional. I can't take all the credit myself because it was obviously done by like some designers who like pointed me in the right way to get that last look or something. So
it's smart to take help where you can get it.
absolutely,
and it's always great to know, like, that's one thing you should always know, is you should always know like where your limitations are when it comes to something. It's not that you can't learn, but like you do not have to take everything on by yourself.
Yep.
So like, yeah, that's a big one.
Oh,
But yeah,
I'm sorry, but whoever's watching the stream, I've got his tissue. I already explained to Elf I've got hay fever and my nose is annoying me. So that's why I've got the sniffles. I know. So I do
I took a bunch
apologize.
of antihistamines before this, so I would not be doing that. But like,
I don't know where
people...
mine's gone. I don't know
Oh
where mine's
no!
gone. Mine's disappeared. I haven't taken any today. I took some yesterday and the day before because I've been doing a lot of garden work, cutting grass and hedges and things like that. So my nose has been driving me mad. And I had a few beers last night. I had a barbecue last night, and I don't know where I put the tablets. They've gone. So, and those things are not cheap, by the way. They are not cheap, and I only get like 6 in a pack or something, and they're bloody expensive. So.
Wow, that's... What about... Well, I don't know. Maybe it depends on what kind of antihistamines you're using. But yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, no, we have the little bottles of the tiny
Oh
ones.
yeah, the tiny. I think I get 6 or something, and it'll cost you about $5, which would be like
Oh wow,
almost $10
that's
or something.
expensive.
That's stupid, man. I know.
Yeah, we can get. I think our bottles are like of 100 tablets for.
Bottle. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. These are just tiny little tablets, and they come in a big box like this, right?
Oh
and
my
you
gosh.
open out, and it's just a sheet of foil, and there's just like 6 tablets in them. Like, what is
Of
this?
course there is.
Yep,
Oh
yep.
gosh.
So, so I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to this regards to design, because I know we covered various things like the emotes, the logo and branding or something like that. We brushed on like obviously it's good to ask help and know your limitations, and especially don't go to YouTube. Make sure that you're not stealing any designs or something like that. If you find something. If you find something that you like or something, what you like the look of or something, I recommend either speaking to a designer, because like you said, Elf said there are hundreds and thousands of them out there, or even Elf. I'm pretty sure she'll be more than happy to either help you or point you in the right direction or something like that, and say, well, okay, I've got some what I want or some what I like the look of. Can you help me with this or something? And then that's great to have that type of material to say about. Understand what you're after, and then that way you'll get something which is unique to you only, and I think you will appreciate that a lot better, because like can you imagine? Say, for instance, your channel or something, because we're talking about Twitch here, is essentially here for design. If your channel did pick up, and you know, these viewers and followers are coming in, and someone's going to come and pick this up, right? They're going to be like, these badges or something, what you're using, or not badges, it could be like emotes or even your brand and logo. So it's like, I'm pretty sure somebody else uses this. You know what I mean? And if they find that, right, and they're going to pin it on you, and that's it. You can just say goodbye. All your credibility is just gone, absolutely gone. So, yep.
I thought I had another thought. Choo-choo, there it goes. It was following that line of logic. Hold on.
Yep, it will come back to you. And don't worry, right? The power of video editing, all this will be cut out. I'll stick this in the bloopers section at the end.
Oh my gosh. There was a thing. There was legitimately a thing. It was like a good thing that I was just thinking of.
So I was talking about not stealing people's content, trying to be original, asking help.
Asking for help.
Yep.
And
research, doodling.
Research, good. Oh my gosh, where did that train of thought go? Jesus Christ, hold on.
It will come back to you at breakfast on Thursday, apparently.
Yeah, I think so. It's, I don't know. Like, I do know, like I said, it is important to try and, I remember what I was, never mind.
And that's end of our podcast. Thank you very much. Okay.
That was what I was going to say was, as far as merch, get creative and diversify. If you want to see some crazy people as far as merch, like, I will tell you, the anime convention circuit is insane. Every 6 months, somebody else will have another type of merch, and it will take off in the artist alley, and everybody will have that. Like, you know those like cute character keychains? Hold on.
Oh wait.
All right, here it is. Should have grabbed this earlier. So when I started, these were not a thing. And now, literally, if you don't have them at an artist table, you're considered kind of a beginner. And so, like, it's okay to get creative with merch. And try to make it interesting. Like, if you are designing merchandise in particular, design something you would buy, that you would be happy and excited to wear. Make it something wear or use or what have you. Don't just make it, oh, look, it's just my name across the thing. Like, unless you manage to stylize it in a way you really like, make sure it's something that it's not just like, oh, this is my, like, Walmart work shirt. It just says, well, you know what I mean? Like, you want it to be interesting, and you want to try and design interesting merchandise and the like, if that's part of what you're looking into too.
Yeah. I mean, I'll love to have merch or something like that, essentially. I mean, like, we're working on merch with like my band or something, but that's completely separate. That's about the band, essentially. But trying to work on merch, which is like my identity, like for my Twitch channel or something. I find that very exciting, and I don't think I'm there yet, obviously. But, like, it's something what I'm working towards, essentially. I'll like to like last night I was just thinking of some cool ideas what I want to do, and what I've been doing for a few friends. I've got a like 3D printer and things like that in my house, so I like 3D print quite like cool things for them. Like, for instance, I go away camping up in the Highlands once a year. Hopefully, I'll get to do it this year. Hopefully, we'll know soon. But there's usually about 10 or 12 of us, and I like run this fucking camping trip or whatnot, and like I do like competitions. You know what I mean? Like it'd be games or something like that, or quizzes, or we'll have a card game and things like that. And at the end of the camp trip, I do like a ceremony. I know it's so geeky, yeah, I sound like a fucking, but I love it. I mean, it's good fun. What I printed was like these key rings, and I printed all these different types of key rings for like what type of character this person was for this trip or something like that.
Awesome.
So it could be like a little bitch or something like that. So it'll literally be like a key ring. You know what I mean? It'd be like a little bitch, and I spray paint like gold, bronze, and silver ones or something, and it'll say something like Epic Camp Trip 2019 or something, or 2018, and hopefully I'll do one for 2020. And I'm like, well, I like doing that type of thing, and I know that I can do this type of thing, like either like key rings or something like with funny slogans or whatever. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I don't know, go into that branch or something. So I'll hopefully get a cool logo and merch that out or something like somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, like I was just thinking, like looking even just at your logo or even the Digital Terror logo, like both would look really nice embroidered on like a cap.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like both would look very good, like for example. But yeah, no, don't be afraid to diversify. You can look into other options for merch as well. But some of it is going to be like you're going to have to like maybe do the mailing and the like yourself, depending on how you get stuff made. But
yeah. I mean,
blue ball.
Yeah. Oh, don't wait. I'm not gonna talk about this nickname which I acquired, and I said it on the podcast last week, and I should have done. So everyone's be calling me this now.
See, that's all right. I'm just saying that's another thing. Don't try to make your own memes. Because it's cringy, but the memes will just come to you. The memes.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I can't believe it has fucking come to me, and it had to be that essentially. And I'm like, great.
Hey, I haven't told my friend. Foot fetishes and elf jobs. So.
Oh god, man. Yeah. So I haven't told my friends about it. I don't think any of my close friends are watching the stream because like. If they know that, because it's like a joke it's like with my closest friends essentially, but and I hate it. Right? I hate them for it, and for some reason, because I mentioned it on the fucking stream, it stuck, and now I'm like, great, now it's on the internet. So
it is. You're welcome.
My life is ruined. So yeah, I mean, yay, 100 internet points to me, I guess. I mean, so I'm a meme. So.
You've done it. You've won at the internet. You've achieved meme status.
Exactly, yeah. I think I'm going to retire now, so that's it. And just live on my fortunes. But that's a good idea. Who knows, right? I'll 3D print some blue balls or something like that, okay? Or bluebells or something like that, right? And see if everybody wants to buy that. Yeah.
Oh, what else? I think that's mostly it. That's most of the things.
I know. I mean, we don't have to necessarily answer everything for the design because, like,
oh yeah, of course,
because because obviously this is a more of a like a broad conversation or something. Like,
obviously, yeah. I was like, but did I have anything else important to add? I don't think so. But
no,
yeah,
I think I mean, when you're doing your design or something like that, or or requesting somebody else to do your design for you, main thing is trying to be honest about what is you want, like what type of look you're going to be achieving here or something. And and I know that's an easy thing just to say or something, but it can be very difficult because you're starting out essentially and you don't have a design and you're trying to create an identity for yourself in a way. So that's that question where you have a difficult question to ask first is like, who are you and what is your identity essentially for streaming or being on Twitch or content creator. What is your identity and what you're trying to portray or something out of this? Because like you could think of, oh, I think this is cool in my head or something, but it's got nothing to do what I am like personality wise. I mean, like for instance, I like I don't know, like battleships. I'm not gonna have a battleship as a boat or something for my logo because I don't do anything with boats. You know what I mean? But I think I like battleships. I think they're cool. You know what I mean? So, or like a tank or something. But it's got nothing to do with me or my personality or what it is or something. So, trying to think of like when you get a logo or making your own logo, like it is something about who you are. And first, answer that question: what am I, and like what type of person am I trying to portray here? So, oh my god, how did you get up there without knocking any books down?
She does that. That's one of
She
her favorite spots to lay.
that looks like a big cat, by the way.
She's tiny.
Is she?
She is quite tiny. She's
All right,
like
those must be
8
very,
pounds.
very small books then.
Yeah.
Yeah. My friend's got two. And are they called Mongol cats? Mongol cats?
Those are cute. Yes.
Yeah, he's got two of them, and they're like, I can't even fit in my hands like in the screen. They are absolutely huge, and they got big fur and everything. I was like, fucking hell. First time I seen it, I was like, damn, I was thinking of a dog. It's like, that's not a dog, man, it's a cat. And I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, both my cats. I don't know if you can see actually. Let me see.
I see them. Oh,
I've got
there they
black.
are.
I've got a black cat. That's Socks. Ooh, ooh.
And then is that
That's
a white
Socks.
and brown?
White and grey. That's Misty.
Right, white and gray, cute.
Yeah. So they're just chilling.
Oh, there she goes.
Oh, there she goes. Right. So I don't know if there's anything else we want to currently add. Unless you got anything, or I'm more than happy.
Nothing in particular. Like unless there were. I don't think there's any.
In fact, if there's any more questions, actually, let me just quickly check my. You want me to rebrand to Blue Balls? Is that what you want? Oh fuck, man. Right, you know what I'll do? I'll do that as a spin-off channel, right? And we see how that goes. Okay, if I rebrand or something. You know how much it costs to
Takes
rebrand?
off immediately. No.
Oh my god, no! I'll hate it. I'll literally like I wouldn't hate, but yeah, I would probably hate it if I rebranded myself. Okay, and it does 10 times better what I currently do. Like it just shoots off. That'd be like one of these like angry people. It'd be like, fuck man, why is I don't get it. Yeah. You know, I could be one of those people who like has everything but somehow has a reason to be a bitch
Angry.
and a moan. Yeah, cranky. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I dreamed.
You know, I didn't dream to be labeled a foot fetishist, but apparently it's gonna haunt me forever.
Oh god. Yeah. Well, well, if there's no more questions, I think we might be closing it off soon. But before we go, obviously want to thank Diet Elf for popping on for today's podcast. Don't forget, I posted a link in the chat, so if you haven't already followed on her channel, do so right now. She is a fantastic creator, and as you know, she's a designer, so I'm pretty sure she'll be more than happy to either help or even point you in the right direction if you're looking for new either emotes, badges, or logos, or whatever the case would be. I'm pretty sure she'll be more than happy to help.
I have more than a few friends.
Oh yes, exactly. So and these designer communities, they will like snatch it up from you easy. I'm pretty sure they will. So and don't forget, go check out her channel. Like I said, she is a variety streamer, so she streams quite a lot of I'm just gonna look myself at variety of games. She's a variety streamer who streams a lot of variety games. Yeah, that's right. Perfect. I know, English words hard for me. God. So and yeah, I mean, I don't think anything else. I mean, what we're going to do actually, we're going to be doing a raid or something as well, because I just raid people, because I'm not going to be streaming for this. I'm actually going to go and stick my feet up with my kids and watch a movie or something like that. So
I heard screaming. It sounded adorable.
Oh god, adorable. When you say it, for me, it's you sure it wasn't just my head screaming inside?
I don't know. I like when kids are excited. I mean, it can get exhausting, but it's adorable.
Oh yeah. And I got two of them. So yeah, I've got two.
How
of them.
often do they fight?
Oh well, they better not fight. Logan, my oldest, he's 9, and Amelia, she's only 2. So
okay,
yeah,
cute.
Yeah, she's got me wrapped around her finger essentially. So yeah, I'm
As
gonna be like
2-year-olds.
Yep. 2 years, terrible 2s. So she's at that point where she just pick up everything, whatever you say. She can like start repeat back. I'm like, so I have to like sometimes watch my language. when I'm on the stream or something. So, so everyone, thank you very much for coming and dropping by. This is obviously, if you're watching it now, it's just a repeat on the YouTube channel, and it'll get uploaded in the next couple of days. Anyway, if you're watching this live and you just joined us, you could then watch it on DTR official YouTube page, which I'll drop a link in as well.